Good morning, good morning. And that's as far as I'm going to get with that song. But Rich Rising, everyone. I am happy that it is Thursday. These weeks just fly on by. But today we are talking about 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content. So 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content. So if you are a business owner, a coach, or an entrepreneur, you're using videos to attract customers to your page, but your views and your engagement is low, then this live is for you. If you are a motivated business owner, you already have an audience. So you have 1,000 followers, you have 2,000 followers, you have 10,000 followers, and you're trying to figure out, how do I convert my followers into customers? Then this live is for you. And if you are a coach or a business owner and you've already been in business for 1 to 3 years and you have been making about $5K a month, 8 to 10K a month, and you're ready to increase to 15K, 20K, then this live is for you because I'm going to be sharing with you 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content so that you can attract leads to your page and you can convert your followers into customers. So I want to go ahead and shout my business owners out. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? I see you over there on Instagram. I want to shout my business owners out. So if you have a business, I want you to go ahead and drop it in the chat. If you don't have a business, this live may not benefit you as much, but you can stick around if you want to. This live is for my business owners. This is your time to shine. So go ahead, drop the name of your business in the chat so I can shout you out. You never know who's on here, who's in need of your services. I've done this a while, actually. I've been doing this for a while now. And each time I shout someone out, they either get a new follower, they get a new lead, right? So that could be you, but they won't be able to follow. They won't be able to understand who you are unless you drop the name of your business in the chat. So go ahead, drop the name of your business in the chat so I can shout you out. Hey, House of Africa, good seeing you here. I see House of Africa is in the building. Who else do we have in here? Least One Vision is in the building. Digital Diva Innovations. I love that. Who else do we have in here? Who else am I shouting out? We got 86 people on the live right now, and I want to go ahead and shout out all my business owners so that people can see you. People can see you. Why am I doing this? I want you all to adopt this mentality, this new mindset. I give it to all of my clients. It's the first thing that I teach them. So I want you to adopt this mindset, get it into your system. I want it to be in your soul. When people see me, they pay me. When people see me, they pay me, right? So if you are not getting paid, chances are is that people aren't seeing you. So if I'm saying to you, I want to shout out your business and you are hesitating and then you're wondering, why am I not getting sales? Why are my lead generation low? It's because people don't see you yet. So the goal is to get you to be seen. That's my job. I help you to be seen. Why? So you can get paid. So I want you to say that with me. When people see me, they pay me. When people see me, they pay me, right? Okay, so who else am I shouting out? Hey, Keisha, I see the Fit Mom is in the building. I think I saw Tiara pop in here. Hey, Tiara, how you doing? Tiara is a wonderful artist. Rain Dazzle Boutique is here. Who else do we have? What other business owners do we have in the building? House of Africa said, when people see me, they pay me. That's what I'm talking about. So Simple says, hey, how you doing? First of all, So Simple, that name is definitely dope. I love that, right? We got Digital Shift with Jen. Drop the name of your business in the chat so we can go ahead and shout you out. When people see me, they pay me. So if you're not being seen, chances are you probably ain't getting paid either. And we just want to shift that. Royalty Bow Down Clothing. Did I say that right? Is it bow down or is it bow down? Right? So we got Royalty Bow Down Clothing in the building and Angel's Touch in the building. Come on to all my business owners. Complexion 5s in the building. Bow, got it. Royalty Bow Down Clothing. Thank you so much. Awesome. We got Jazzy Biz Collective in the building. What other business owners do we have? Soul Joy Wellness is in the building. Hey, Joy, how you doing? The Fit Mom Club. Yes, I love it. Y'all are waking up now. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all are waking up. Let's do this. I'm excited. Today we are talking about 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content. Why? Because if your engagement is low, if your views are low, if your following is low, then chances are a lot of you are struggling with increasing your lead gen. That was a really dope effect. I love that. Thank you so much, honey. Honey Bear, thank you so much for that, right? That means that you are struggling to increase your lead gen, and chances are you're struggling to increase your sales, right? So if you're making $5K a month, if you're making $8 to $10K a month, and you want to get to $15K a month, you want to get to $20K a month, we got to increase how many people are seeing you so that now you are increasing your sales. Because again, when people see me, they pay me. So if they're not seeing you, you're not getting paid how much you should be getting paid. So my job is to help you increase your visibility. How? Well, today we're going to be talking about how you can do that with your videos with these 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content, right? I'm sure a lot of you in here have heard that you should be telling stories in your content. How many of you have been hearing that? You should be telling stories in your content. And so now you try to tell stories and you find yourself stuck. Who am I talking to right now? Just drop a me in the chat. I just want to take a quick poll. Drop a me in the chat if that's you. You are hearing, I want to tell stories. You should be telling stories in your content, but when you go to do it, you get stuck, right? Oh, Miss Misunderstood said, I never heard that before. Well, welcome to this live where we're teaching you how to create content that attracts and converts your followers into customers, right? And one of the big ways to do that is by leveraging the power of storytelling. Okay, so I see a lot of people saying me, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. How you can use the stories in your videos to increase your engagement, increase your lead generation, and increase your sales. It's all about increase, baby. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard that this is the season of open doors, that we are under an open heaven, that this is the season of increase, and you don't want to be passed by. So let's talk about that so that you won't be passed by. So who am I? I'm Shamara Star Cox, a TV producer and a content coach. My goal is to help you create binge-worthy content that attracts and converts your followers into customers. Why binge-worthy? Because whenever you binge, you buy. And it's a fact. We are in a society where Netflix, YouTube, you name it. People are binging the shows. The people are binging the content every single day and paying for it every single month. So what do? I show you how to create that same exact experience on your page so that now you're taking your audience from just browsing to binging to buying. That's the strategy. Somebody write that down. Somebody write down that strategy where you're taking your audience from just browsing. Those are the people who are just watching your content. They are never commenting. They're never sharing. They're never hitting follow, right? We want to get them from just browsing to actually binging, where they're watching your videos over and over. Every day they're coming back for their daily fix. And now they are buying from you. It works every time. It works for me. It works for my clients. I had a client where she put out binge-worthy content, and what happened? She got a new client. That person didn't know her from a hole in the wall. She just started binging her videos, and next thing you know, she was like, you're my coach. I'm hiring you. How many of you would love to create content like that? Where people come to your page, they binge it, and then they're like, I'm working with you. I'm going to buy from you. Drop a me in the chat. I just want to do a quick poll. I want to see who we have in here. Do we have the business owners who's like, I'm ready to increase my sales. I'm ready to increase my leads, and I just need to know what's my strategy to do that, right? Yep, there we go. I see some me's coming in. Hey, I see one of my Jamaican sisters in the building. Come on, honey. Hey, Latoya, how you doing? Yes. House of Africa said, from browsing to binging. Joy said, yup, that's me. I want that. Oh, thank you so much, honey. I love that, right? So I want to show you exactly how you can do that, right? Before I jump into that, before I jump into how exactly you can get your audience from just binging to buying, I want you to do this. Grab your notebook, grab your pen, take note, take action, make some money. Why? Because action takers are money makers, not time wasters. Some of you, you've been to other people's lives before. They've given you a lot of gems on what you can implement, and you haven't implemented, so you haven't seen the results. I want to tell you right now that it's action takers that are money makers. Okay? The time wasters are the ones that allow procrastination to hinder them. The time wasters are the ones who take all the notes and never put it into action. But you're not going to see a shift in your business until you start to take action. That's the biggest thing. So if you're in here right now, make sure you're taking notes because I'm going to be dropping a lot of gems. I teach all of my lives like they are masterclasses. That's why right now you're getting a lot of gems and I haven't even started giving you tips yet. Y'all are like, what? When people see me, they pay me. Action takers and money makers from browsing to binging to buying. Yup, those are all strategies, right? And I share that with you. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for tapping in on the screen so that TikTok and Instagram can push the live out. I want you to also to share this live out. Don't hoard it. Don't keep it to yourself. There are other business owners that they are following you and they are interested in being able to increase their leads and their sales. So share this live out. Hey, I see Monica in the building. Hey, Monica, how you doing? Right? Okay, I want to share this story and then we're going to go right into these tips, these 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content so you can increase your lead gen and increase your sales, right? I remember about 4 years ago, this is when I started my business. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all like out here sharing. I love it, right? 4 years ago, I started my business and I was nervous, right? I told y'all I work in television. I worked in television for over a decade. And God had told me, quit your job. And I was scared. I was afraid to quit my job because I was reliant on my 9 to 5. I was reliant on my paycheck every 2 weeks, right? Anybody ever been there where you're facing something where you're super afraid of because you don't know how it's going to work out? That's where I was, right? So God says, quit your job. And I quit my job. I start creating content full time and I get to it. Oh, misunderstood. We got to help you, girl, because I know what you mean, right? I get to a point where God tells me to start selling to your audience. Here's another fear that's popping up for me. Sell to my audience. What if they don't buy? What if I come off salesy? I also had a poverty mindset at the time. I grew up in the church, and growing up in the church, they didn't teach us about prosperity. Oftentimes they condemned money. Right? So at the time when God was telling me to sell to my audience, there was a fear that, should I really be doing this? Right? What if I rub people the wrong way? I know I'm not the only one. Some of you are having that experience right now where you're like, can I really be selling to my people? Right? So now here I am. I'm ready to start selling to my audience. And I say to God, well, if I'm going to start this business, I'm going to need some help. I need you to send me some help. I need a business coach. That's what I say to him. And God says to me, you find the coach, I will cover the cost. I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Because at this point in my business, at this point, I'm getting ready to start my business, but I hadn't worked in 2 years now. I hadn't worked in 2 years and I'm getting ready to start this business. When I quit my job, I only had $8,000 in my bank account. So now I recognize I need a business coach. And here's God saying, you find the coach, I will cover the cost. 1 week later, this woman reaches out to me. She's like, Holy Spirit told me to reach out to you. I'm like, I bet you he did tell you to reach out to me, right? And we're on the phone. And then she quotes me her price, right? She's a business coach. And she's like, here's how much it's going to cost you to work with me. And I clench my pearls. This is my real reaction. You want me to invest what? How many of you, you're in a space where I need to take my business to the next level. You know that a coach can help you, but there is some fear there because how much money you got to invest. You looking at your bank account like, I don't think that's in my bank account. And now there's some fear popping up. How can I afford this? How can I be able to do this, right? Don't tell me I'm the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but that's the space that I was in because I hadn't worked in 2 years. I had every excuse in the book to be like, nah, God didn't send her. Nah, this is not the person, right? But instead, I trusted what God said. He said, you find the coach, I'll cover the cost. I bet. I went back to God. I said, this is the coach. This is the cost. Now, some of you are probably thinking, oh, God must have just sent her the money. Not right away. Not right away. Here's what happened. By faith, I put down the initial deposit for her program by faith. And the very next day, can somebody write the very next day in the chat? The very next day, God sent me my first 5K client. The next day, not 2 days later, not 10 days later. The next day, he sent me my first 5K client. And how do I know that he sent her? Because I wasn't even trying to sell her on $5,000. I was too afraid to do it. I tried to get her to buy a $300 product. And I happened to let it slip that I had a 5K offer. And then we got off the phone. And she followed up via text until the deal was closed. I was like, Lord, did you just send me $5,000? Right? Exactly. The very next day. And here's what I learned. Here's what I learned. I learned that on the other side of my investment was advancement. On the other side of my investment was advancement. Because not only did I quickly make $5,000, when I joined the coaching program, I learned what I needed to learn to make $1,000 in 3 days. Can somebody type acceleration in the chat? I was able to accelerate in my business in just a matter of a month, all because I invested. On the other side of your investment is advancement. For those of you who are afraid, you're in a space in your business where you've taken it as far as you could. And you're trying your really hardest. You know what? Let me see what else free I can get. But the free has only taken you but so far. It's time to invest, but there's some fear there. And your fears are valid. Wait a second, will I make this money back? Wait a second, will this work? Wait a second, is this the right coach for me? Those were all the thoughts I had. And this was my first investment in a coach. But here's what I did. I trusted in God. And he sent the person my way. And then, here's the next part. This part is super important. If you didn't learn nothing else from my story, I want you to learn this part. I took action. I took action on what was taught. Why? Because action takers are money makers, not time wasters. Some of you, the reason why you feel like, I don't want to invest in another coaching program is because when you were in those coaching programs, you didn't do the work. You just let the time run out. Your grace period ran out. You didn't do the work. You didn't ask the questions. And so now you're in a space where you're like, dang, I really do need another coach, but I don't want to invest. Not because you don't trust the coach, but because you just don't trust you. And I want to ask you this. If that is you, you don't got to tell on yourself. But I want to ask you this. How is that serving your business right now? Are you where you want to be financially? Or are you sabotaging your business because you're getting in the way? You don't got to write it in the chat. Just let it sink in if that is you. Because if it is, I want to tell you this. You didn't start that business to be a side chick to your 9 to 5. You didn't do that. You didn't start that business for it to collect cobwebs in the corner. You didn't do that. And you definitely didn't start that business for it to die 5 years later. You didn't do that. You started that business to transform lives. So whose life are you transforming in this season? Whose life? Now I get it. You want to make the money, sure. You want to create generational wealth, absolutely. You want to leave a financial legacy to your family, yes. That's what you should be doing. But the money ain't going to just drop from heaven. And the people aren't just going to come because you have a product. You actually have to be seen. You actually have to put out the content for them to find you so that now they can want to invest in you. How many of you are in a position now where you're like, I'm ready to be found. I'm ready to be a blessing to my timeline and I want to get out my own way. How many of you are saying that to yourself right now? If you are, then I want to take time to invite you to my challenge. It is a 5-day challenge where we help you get out of your own way and instead get in front of the camera so that now when you're speaking, speaking, when you're creating your content, you're sharing your authenticity so that you can reach your audience. And that business that you started to transform lives, you're actually doing that. How many of you want to be able to do that? If so, then I want to encourage you to click the first link in my bio, become a member of our 5-day video challenge. Now, this challenge is at no cost to you. So it's a complimentary challenge. We removed the money barrier so that you couldn't even use money as an excuse. So really, at this point, it's just a, what am I waiting for? Can somebody write that in the chat? What am I waiting for? Right? This challenge is to help you to be able now to be seen by your ideal clients so you can get paid so that you can be a blessing to your audience. So all you got to do is click the first link in my bio, schedule a call with me or my teammate, and see if you can be able to be a right fit for the challenge. Why we do the call? Hey, Tiara, Digital Faith Connection, how you doing? Give me some updates, honey. Give me some updates. Eileen, how you doing? Yes, I see y'all writing in the chat. What am I waiting for? Right? Why do we do this call? Right? So you're gonna click the link in click the first link in my bio, and then you schedule a call with me or my team. We do this call because I know a lot of people want to try to get into the challenge, but the challenge is only for the business owner who is ready to increase their sales and their lead generation. It is only for the business owner who's ready to take their business seriously or is already doing that rather, and they're ready to scale their business. So if you're not in a position where you're ready to scale, then the challenge isn't for you because the content won't be relevant. The next thing is we want to make sure that the content is a right fit for your business. Because if it's not, you're not going to thrive in the challenge. Our goal is to help you get results in as little as 5 days. And we can't do that if the challenge does not work for you, if the content does not resonate for you in your business. So that's what the call is for. We just want to get to know you and make sure that we are serving you with excellence. Now, some of you was just like, yes, I'm joining the challenge. But some of you, your issue isn't the fact that you're sabotaging your business. Your issue is the fact that you just don't know what you're doing. You're sitting here trying to figure out, how can I reach my ideal customers? I've been trying everything, putting the content out there, everything. And now I just don't know what else content to create. I don't know what to say in my videos to get people to buy. And honestly, when it comes time to actually putting out the video, there's some imposter syndrome there, some type of fear that is telling you that you're not good enough and people won't buy from you. That's what's going on with you. And we want to be able to help you too. You want to know why? Because there's a calling on your life. And this is not a regular calling. This is a high calling on your life. You were called to be a blessing to people. You were called to transform lives, and you were called to social media. That's why you're here right now. And you can't shake the feeling no matter what you do. You trying to shake the feeling because you like, oh man, I don't like doing video. I don't really want to grow my following. But you have been called to this. And you feel unfulfilled where you are right now. You're stuck at the 8 to 10K mark in your business. You're ready for 15K. You're ready for 20K. And you feel it so strongly in your bones. You know that you can hit it if you just had some help. For those of you in that position where you're like, I'm ready to increase my sales, your biggest issue is not just that you need to know what to post. Your biggest issue is that you need a system to help you get to the next level in your business. And you don't have that system yet. All you have is word of mouth marketing. You have referrals and you may be running some ads. But you're ready to implement a marketing system into your business so that you're consistently increasing your leads each month and you're consistently increasing your sales each month. If that is you, then I want you to go ahead and click the first link in my bio and become a member of the challenge because we want to help you. We've had business owners come in where they have either made no sales or they were making some sales in their business, 3K, 5K, 7K, 8K. And now they have a system in place to increase them to 10K. And all they're doing is working the system, right? So we want to show you how to do that. All you got to do is click the first link in my bio, become a member of the challenge so that we can help you. Why? Because on the other side of your investment is advancement. If you want to advance in your business right now, if you want to accelerate, it's time to work with a coach directly. You can get to free, but it's only going to take you but so far. It's time to work with a coach directly, right? Yep, Maine Be So Funny said that's powerful. Absolutely, absolutely. Who's feeling blessed by this right now? Drop a I'm blessed in the chat if you are feeling blessed by this right now. Why am I going so hard about this? Because I've seen many people giving up on their business. Like God gave them the idea for their business, but they're giving up on it. You want to know why? Because they're not selling. People aren't buying. They thought that it was enough for them to just have the product, for them to just have the service. And they thought, okay, if I just have the business, people just gonna come and buy. And they're recognizing it's not happening. Some of you, you've worked with a coach. What I'm saying to you, you're like, yeah, I know. I've worked with a coach already. You've worked with a business coach. And that business coach has taken you but so far. They showed you what offer to create. They showed you how to sell that thing. And then by the end of the program, they told you, go to social media, promote, promote, promote. And you've been doing that. And ain't nobody buying. And your leads ain't coming. And it's frustrating. You want to know why? Because you're ready for your next coach. It's time to work with a marketing coach. See, the marketing coach shows you how to market that offer. Shows you what to say in your videos to get people to resonate with you. Shows you how to create deep connections with your audience in a way that gets them to go, oh, I want to work with you. I'm ready to buy. That's what a marketing coach helps you with. They help you to push past the fear of selling so that now when you are selling, you don't sound salesy in your videos. You sound like the solution in your videos. How many of you, that's where you're at? You're like, yeah, you're right. I worked with a business coach, but I never worked with a marketing coach before. That's where you want to become a member of the challenge. Go ahead, click the first link in my bio, secure your spot. I'm going to tell you right now, we had people trying to get into the April challenge, and April's challenge got filled up really quickly. By the time we got to the end of March, we couldn't take any more people into the challenge. So don't let you be the person who waits till next week, waits till the end of April, and then you can't get into the challenge at all for May. Because now is the time for you to accelerate in your business, for you to increase in your business, for you to scale in your business. But we can't force you to do that. That has to be your decision. You have to decide, I'm ready for this. And then come on and let us help you. If you are on Instagram and you want to become a member of the challenge, all you got to do is type challenge accepted into the chat, and then you're going to receive a DM, right? And then we'll send you the link. TikTok, you can't do that because they don't allow us to send you to do automations. But on Instagram, we can. You can type challenge accepted into the chat, and we'll automatically send you the link for you to request an invitation to the challenge. Awesome. Okay, so I see a lot of you are feeling blessed, and you want to know why? Because you're receiving the solution to your problem right now. A lot of you don't recognize this, but I'm going to share this with you. And as I share it with you, I want you to get this in your system, and I want you to understand that marketing is the lifeline of your business. Marketing is the lifeline of your business. Not creating the product, not building the website, not paying someone to create your logo. It is the marketing that is the lifeline of your business. If people don't know about your brand, they are not going to invest. I want to prove it to you. I want you to drop a yes in the chat if you've ever heard of Nike. Have you ever heard of Nike? Drop a yes in the chat. This ain't a trick question. I just want to prove to you a point. If you ever heard of Nike, there we go. Locke says, yup. Misunderstood says, yup. Anyone else? You ever heard of Nike? I want you to drop a yes in the chat, right? There we go. I see the yeses coming in. Now, have you ever heard of Gatorade? Have you ever heard of Gatorade? Drop a yes in the chat if you've ever heard of Gatorade before, right? Yep, I see the yeses coming in on Instagram as well. There we go. I see some more yeses coming in. All right, let me ask you one more question. Have you ever heard of Forever 21? If you ever heard of Forever 21, drop a yes in the chat. Hey, Chinwei, how you doing, honey? Yep, there we go. I see ya. Exactly, right? You want to know why you've heard of these brands before? Because of their marketing. If it wasn't for their marketing, no one would buy from them. They wouldn't still be around right now. So if they needed marketing, why do you think that marketing isn't so important to your business? As I said before, when people see me, they pay me. You got to get that in your system. When people see me, they pay me. Which means that if your marketing isn't intact, how are people seeing you? How are people seeing you? I worked with a client before where she was an author and she was writing her book. And she started to do the work for marketing, and then she got overwhelmed. And she said, this is too much, Star. I don't think I'll be able to continue. And I said to her, when is your book launching? She said, my book is launching in 3 months. I said, great. You're in a great position right now. Now is the time to build your audience. Now is the time to whet their appetite to let them know that this book is coming. If you stop now, what's going to happen is you're going to write your book. And when it's complete, you're not going to have anyone to launch it to. She said to me, all right, that is a risk I'm willing to take. Do you know that 3 months later, she finished writing that book? And she came to me and she said, you know what, Star? You're right. I finished writing the book and now I have no one to sell it to. What good is your product? What good is your coaching program? What good is your services if you have no one to sell it to? Tell me that. It's not good at all. Because all you did was wasted time. Instead, what one strategy that I teach my clients is to get paid to build your products. Get paid to build your services. I did that. When I first launched my challenge, I launched it in February 2023, I launched my challenge. And the challenge was not created yet, nor was it built yet. I didn't even know what I was fully teaching yet. But I sold the challenge tickets before I built the challenge. And guess what? I got paid to build that challenge. I got paid for it. How many of you would prefer to get paid in your business to build something that you desire? How many of you would love that? Now, some of you, you're like, I already got the product, girl. Give me the tips. But some of you are like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we are putting our time and our efforts into things that's not even bringing in the finances yet for our business. But you know what will? Marketing and sales. Marketing and sales. So I want to help you with that. I want to help you with that. I want to give you 3 shocking storytelling tips for your content. Now, we may not be able to go through all 3 of the tips, but I want to at least start giving them to you, right? So if you're ready for the tips, drop a I'm ready in the chat so I can know y'all still awake. Drop a I'm ready in the chat if you are ready for these tips. There we go. I see 1, I'm ready. 2, I'm ready. Hey, Virgin Couture here. How you doing, honey? There we go. 3, I'm ready. Let's do this. So the first shocking storytelling tip that you need for your content, right? Write this down. Great stories call your ideal customers by paying. Great stories call your ideal customers by paying. What do I mean by this? Whenever you're creating content, the content that you're creating should be solving the problem of your ideal customer. That problem is their pain. That's what great content does. That's what great stories do, right? Now, here's the thing. Some of you, you're listening to this and you're like, man, I've heard this before, but I don't know what pain my audience is in. You want to take time to write that out. Because if you don't, you cannot create content for them. Some of you, the reason why you don't know what to say in your videos, the reason why you don't know how to attract people to your page is because you don't know what problems they're experiencing, so you don't know what problems you're solving. You're just putting out any old content and it's not doing a thing. But I'm telling you right now, great stories for your content calls your people by pain. So you got to call them by pain. Where did I get this from? I got this from Jesus. So some of you, you're new here. Some of you, you've been here. But for those of you who are new, I teach Bible marketing secrets to my clients. Why? Because it works. It works. You won't ever hear me telling you, hop on this trend. You won't ever hear me telling you, post 3 or 4 times a day, because it's exhausting. And I'm not going to front. I'm not in my 20s, so I can't be doing that, right? And a lot of you aren't in your 20s either. A lot of my ideal clients are over 40. Y'all got children and y'all married. Posting 3 or 4 times a day just ain't going to work for you. So instead, I teach you biblical principles so that now when you implement it into your marketing, you see that it works, and it works quickly. So I've seen Jesus do this. He called his people by pain. In Matthew 11:28-30, he said, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's pain, y'all. He could have said, come to me all who are rich. Come to me all who are perfect in health. But he didn't do that. He said, if you are weary and if you are heavy laden, come to me because I'm going to give you rest. So what pain is your audience going through? I want you to write down what their pain points are and then create content that solves that problem. So one of my clients, her name is Marianne. Marianne is in her 60s and she helps people who are near to retirement age retire with money in their bank account. Here's why I love Marianne's brand. Because the people that she's serving, they have worked 9 to 5s all their life. They worked in corporate all their life and are completely disrespected because now they're getting ready to retire and they don't have enough money to retire. I mean, it's ridiculous. That should be highway robbery for you to work all your life and not have enough money to retire. So here comes Marianne with the solution to their pain. I'm going to show you how to create passive income, making $600 a day, so that now when you retire, you'll have money in your bank and you don't got to worry about going back to work. Ain't that a great solution? So here comes Marianne. When she first started putting content out on social media, people were kind of sort of watching her videos. They were kind of sort of coming. And then she joined my challenge at the VIP level. She was like, you know what? It's not enough for me to just come in at general admissions. I need to work with the coach directly. So I'm going to treat my business. She came in at the VIP level. We taught her the content strategy. And let me tell you this. Every time, what Marianne needed help with was how to address the pain for her ideal customers, how to clearly call it out and how to address it. And she did it. Day 1 of the challenge, she got 5 leads. Day 2 of the challenge, she got 3 leads. Day 3 of the challenge, she got 3 more leads. 2 weeks after leaving the challenge, Marianne went viral, got 60,000 leads. I can't make this stuff up. What would you do if suddenly you had 60,000 leads come into your business? What would you do? Some of y'all would be like, I don't even know if I could convert all those people. That's okay. Now, I'm not going to front. 60,000, that's above average, like way above average. But I want to ask you this. What would 100 leads mean for your business? 100 hot leads of people ready to buy. What does that look like for you? Would you be able to convert them? Because if that's the case, that means that's increased sales. What does that look like for you? I want you to really imagine that. For me, 100 new leads means that we can convert at least 30%, which means that I'm hitting 15K, 20K in my business. That means I'm paying my staff. That means I'm taking a vacation. What does that look like for you if you were able to get 100 new leads? I want you to write that in the chat. Some of you are like, wow, I never even thought about that before. What does 100 new leads look like for you in your business? Does that mean that now you're able to convert at least 10 of them? And you're able to take a week off and go on vacation with your kids? Does that mean that now your audience has just grown by 100 people? And you're able to sell to them and be a blessing to them? You're able to serve them? Does that mean that you just now built a community of loyal and buying people so you never have to worry about where your next customer is coming from? What does 100 new leads look like for your business? I want you to envision that. Because some of you, the reason why you're stuck is because you're not envisioning your business successful. You've never had 100 leads at one time. So in your mind, it's like, I don't know. Some of you are even in here right now asking me, what are leads? Okay, right? Let's see. Razzle says, it looks like having funding for the things that I need. I love that. To grow my business even bigger. That's what 100 new leads looks like for her. But what about you? What does 100 new leads look like for you? We got 32 people on TikTok, 3 people on Instagram. I know Razzle's not the only person who's really thinking about this right now. 100 new leads for Marianne means that she's making at least more than 600 a day. So that's, when you do 600 a day for 12 months, that's over $200,000 in her business. Now she's at the multiple 6 figures mark in her business. That's amazing. And she never has to worry about going to work a 9-to-5 again because she got her passive income coming in. So I want you to think about that. If you're in here and you're like, oh, that really hit me because I need that. I actually am ready to quit my 9-to-5, but I don't have enough money saved in my account to do that. And I want to learn how to do that. Then I want to encourage you to become a VIP member of our challenge. You can get that by clicking the second link in my bio. Become a VIP member. Because Marianne recognized, I don't just want to sit under the teaching. I want to work with the coach directly. Let me tell you the difference between just getting the teaching and working with a coach. See, I had someone come into the challenge where she got the teaching, but she was stuck because she didn't know how to implement on her own. But Marianne, when she came into the program, she got the teaching, and if she got stuck, she got to ask the coach a question. And when she got her question answered, she then got to implement. And when she got to implement, that's when she saw the results. There's a difference. And you got to know who you are and what your business is ready for. If you recognize, I want to get the results and I want to get them quickly, and I don't want to get stuck, become a VIP member. Treat your business. Because it's there in VIP that we get to work with you directly. Some of you, you're stuck because it's not about just getting the content strategies. You have the content strategies. Actually, you even have the tools to shoot the video. But there's a voice in your head that keeps telling you, it doesn't matter. Why are you shooting this video? Ain't nobody gonna see it. I don't know why you're trying to sell, because people aren't gonna buy anyway. Even though you sold before. You've hit 5K in your business. You've hit 8K in your business. And there's a voice telling you, you're not ever gonna get to 10K. Ain't nobody gonna buy from you. We want to obliterate that voice. Because that voice is your biggest enemy. And it will keep showing up if you don't know how to obliterate it. And it will keep hindering you from getting on camera and shooting your videos. It will keep hindering you from getting on camera and speaking to your audience and letting them know how you can help them. And it will cripple you when it comes to you telling them, and this is how much it costs. because it will make you think that you're not truly serving if you put a price on your product. And that is a lie. And VIP, we help you to obliterate that voice. Why? So you can accelerate. Remember when I told you my story? I said on the other side of my investment was advancement. Do you want to know why I truly advanced in that coaching program? The one that I was so scared to invest in? The one that I was like, I hadn't worked in 2 years. I don't know if I have the money for this. Do you want to know why I was truly able to advance? It wasn't just because she gave me the tools and the strategies I needed in order to do marketing and to build my business, but it was because she helped me to overcome what was keeping me stuck. I had a story that I was telling myself. It was a cycle of disappointment where I have tried this before. I've created my own shows that no one has ever seen. I have put out my own projects that didn't do so good. I started this business before. What makes this time different? And it was in her coaching program that she allowed me to release the emotions, release the trauma. And then she gave me the tools to manage it so that now I can build a 6-figure business. That's what helped me to advance. Some of you are trying to advance, but you're carrying this baggage, and this is what it looks like. You're trying to run, but there's a heavy boulder attached to your foot. And so now you find yourself running and getting pulled back, running and getting pulled back, running and getting pulled back. And so it looks like this. I'm going to get up and I'm going to shoot my videos today. Okay, I'm ready to shoot my videos. And then you start hearing a voice that says, but what if people judge you? What if people don't like it? What if you say the wrong thing and you get all these bad comments? What if no one buys from you? What's the point of you selling? And then you start going, you know what? Actually, maybe I should start cleaning the house instead. Maybe I should take care of my kids. Maybe I should do this. And everything becomes priority as opposed to actually marketing to your audience. That's what that voice does. And some of you, you've been hearing the voice so long that it looks like this. Perfectionism. I can't put this video out. It don't look good enough yet. It's not the best yet. And so you don't post it. Some of you, it's imposter syndrome. Oh, I shouldn't be here. Like, I know that I was able to accomplish that for myself, but would I really be able to accomplish that for other people? We want to obliterate those voices because those voices are keeping you stuck in your business. It's like you're going around in cycles. Every time you advance just a little bit, great, I made 5K this month. The next month, 0K. All right, I made 8K this month. The next month, 2K. How can we stop that so that now it is consistent 5 figures? Consistent. That's what we can help you with in VIP. You want that type of lifestyle? Treat your business, work with the coach, get free from the emotional baggage holding you back so you can accelerate. That's the word. You want to accelerate, you want to increase, you want to scale, then we got to overcome what is holding you back from truly showing up. Virgin Couture here says, everything is priority except my business. I find time for everyone else but not me. That's a real thing. And she's not the only one. There's a lot of you on here where I just read that you were like, oh, that's me too. But here's the thing. You're excited to work on your business, but when it comes time to work on your business, everything else becomes priority. And then by the end of the month, when you're looking at how much money you made, you could have made more had you just focused on your marketing. Some of you are not going to be able to get to the next level without a marketing coach. And if that's you, you want to become a VIP member of the challenge so we can help you. The reason why I encourage VIP, because I'm not going to front. We have people come in where they're like, you know what, I don't want to invest yet. Let me just come in through general admissions. And they come in through general admissions, and on day one, they realize I've made a big mistake. I need to be in VIP. And then they upgrade. We can't really fully explain what happens in VIP. But all I can tell you is, if you know that you've been trying free for so long and you're still in the same position, it's because it's time for you to invest to advance. That's it. There's a principle in the Bible. It's called 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6. It says, those who sow sparingly shall reap sparingly, and those who sow generously shall reap generously. When you're only focused on getting the free, you're sowing sparingly. So you're going to reap what you sow. But when you sow generously into your business, and I mean that's the investments in the coaches, but not just the finances, your time. You're sowing your time into your business. Guess what you're going to reap? 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, consistent 5 figures each month. That's what happened to me. I'm going to tell you right now, I usually don't give away what the price was that I invested in this coach, my first coach, but she actually has increased her prices now. So I think it's okay for me to give it away. My very first coach, I invested $6,000 in her program. $6,000. At the time, it was a lot. Why? Because I felt like I didn't have it. I hadn't worked in 2 years. So when she was telling me invest $6,000, I was like, oh, you want me to do what? But do you want to know how much I reaped? 6 figures. I reaped 6 figures. That was more than 10xing my business. I went from making $0 a month, actually $97 a month, to 6 figures in a year. That's more than I even made at my 9 to 5. You can't tell me that sowing and reaping is not a principle and it doesn't work, because it does. I invested $6,000, I reaped 6 figures. Okay? Maggie says, I spent my savings in other courses and I'm deflated now. I have not made one sale. Maggie, which courses did you invest in? Was your courses for marketing? Right? Because there's a difference between working with a business coach or working with a marketing coach. Right? And then there's a difference between working with a social media manager and working with a marketing coach. And that could be one of the reasons why you haven't made one of the sales. Right? But Maggie, I want you to go ahead and click the first link in my bio. And I want you to become a member of the challenge, the general admissions, so that you can learn and get these sales. Oh, legendary marketing and roadmap. I don't know how long ago you did that, Maggie, but it may be time for you to go back to those trainings if you still have access and start to implement. Start to implement what it is that they are teaching you, right? I don't know if they had like a system set up for you to work that system, but that's what you want to do. You got to work your marketing system. And then if you want, you can become a member, the general admissions member for the challenge, so that when you're in my challenge, you can see what the overlap is and see like, okay, I need to implement this. This is what I need to be doing, and I need to keep doing it. Because sometimes the reason why we don't make our sales is because we're not doing a thing consistent enough. We think that if we start doing it today, we should already get the sales tomorrow. And sometimes it don't work that way. Sometimes you have to work the system, perfect your messaging, get better at selling, and then you will be able to see the sales. The sales don't just come from overnight. I know like people try to make it seem like, oh wow, just posted this video and I made $300, right? But there's a whole system that goes into place. There's a consistent strategy that you have to work in order for that to happen, right? And so that may be what you need to do next. Awesome. Not yet, Crystal. It's okay. I gave the first tip. I'm about to give the second tip, right? So how many of you in here right now, you're like, yo, that's what I needed. I'm feeling blessed. You are welcome, Maggie. I'm feeling blessed. If you're feeling blessed, drop a I'm blessed in the chat. And I want to give you this next tip. Some of you are like, yo, you right. I needed this. Razzle said me. House of Africa said true. That's true. It's true. Like in my academy, when I'm teaching my clients, I teach them to work their system. Now, do they get afraid to work it? Yes. Some of them don't want to go live. Some of them don't want to shoot their videos. They're like you, where they're doing everything else but focusing on the business. But it's okay. When you have that system in place and you keep on working it, and then you have that coach's voice in your ear, oh, you're going to get these sales. You're going to get these sales, okay? All right. There we go. Okay. Let me give you the second tip. Right? Let me give you the second tip. The second tip is really nice. The second tip is really about your hook, right? Before you can get people to listen to your story so that you can convert, you got to catch their attention with a compelling hook. So here's what I want you to do. Use the word you in it. Before you can get people to listen to your stories, you got to catch their attention with a compelling hook. The best way to do that is to use the word you in your hooks, right? I want to give you an example because I've tested this. It's so funny. I've tested it on my emails and I've tested it in my videos. I have noticed that when I start my videos like this, hey everyone, welcome back. It's your girl Star. Or if I started it like, I was thinking about a problem when right? That my views are low. People, they're not really checking for me. But if I start my video like this, you ever had a time when you ever been in a space that you ever did something that you never, when I use the word you, guess what happens? It automatically brings my audience into the story. They don't feel separate from my story. They feel like they are part of it. When I go, hey, welcome back, it seems like they're just watching on a TV show. So they're like, whatever, I get this on MTV. I don't want to do that. And if I just start off by talking about me, it's like, all right, yeah, it's just about you. But what does it got to do with me? But if I start now by going, you ever seen? Now they're like, oh, yeah, that happened to me. Exactly. Razzle says, you're probably sitting there thinking, exactly. Use the word you in your hooks. Pull them right into your story. Don't wait. Don't hesitate either. Because they want what it is that you have to offer. Now, here's what the word you helps with. It helps them to relate to you. They got to see you as relatable. If you ain't relating to them, why in the world would they invest in you? You got to be relatable to them, right? So use the word you. Start it off with your videos. I do it in my emails too. And you are so welcome, Danny. Danny said, I love these tips. I know these tips are like, it's so simple. But it's like, why didn't I think about that before? But it really does work. So use the word you in your hooks. Pull them in right away. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. The goal is to get them to relate. That's what you want. You want them to relate right away. Yes, House of Africa said, I really need to connect with you. Come on through, honey. Crystal says, you're a phenomenal teacher. Thank you. I have been told that a couple of times. I'm not going to front. Y'all want to know what my secret sauce is to teaching? Holy Spirit. Because sometimes I be like worried. I be like, Lord, what we going to talk about? What we going to do? And then right before I go live, I pray. I say, Lord, send the people. And I want to have fun. And then you teach your people. Right? So he knows what you need to hear so that you can receive and start to implement. And that's the goal. Right? So that tip is super simple. Replace the word I with the word you and watch your audience come in. Now, here's the thing, because some of you are going to start doing this you. And then you're going to be like, oh, but it didn't work. Test it. Test it. Right? Like you got to test your hooks. I teach this to all my audience. Oh, you want to test, pivot. Test, pivot. Come on, test, pivot. Test, pivot. That's a song that I teach all my clients. You got to test your hooks. Test your stories. And pivot if it's not working. So test it. I've tested lots of hooks where I said, you did this, you're waiting for. And that has worked. As opposed to me going, 3 steps to. Now, sometimes I still release the I's in the 3 steps to. They just don't do as good when it comes to the views and pulling the people in, right? Awesome. Okay, I want to give you this last tip. That was a quick tip. I didn't think it was going to go that quickly, but it was a quick tip. So let me give you this last tip, right? Here's the third tip. So we had 3 shocking storytelling tips. Some of y'all are shocked. You're like, oh my goodness, is that simple? Yes. The first one was you got to call your people by pain. Hey, Kenya, how you doing? Thank you so much. Kenya, we missed you last week. I don't know if you got a chance to look at the replay for last week, but we had Alicia come in and teach on funnels. And I know that's the thing that you really wanted, right? Okay, so let me do this quick recap. So the first thing was to call your audience by pain. That's what great stories do. The second tip is to use the word you in your hooks so you can pull them right into your story. This third tip is my favorite. You may not fully understand it, but just let it sink in. This third tip is that every great story has a common enemy so that your audience can relate to it. right? So every great story has a common enemy so that your audience can relate to it, right? So what do I mean by that? A lot of you in here have gone through some stuff. I mean some stuff. And when you're sharing your story, you're sharing that, but there's one element missing, which is the common enemy that will get your audience to relate to you. So I want to give you an example from my life and on the story that I shared earlier today. When I talked about the other side of my investment being advancement, the common enemy in that story was fear. Fear. The amount of times that I mentioned I was afraid to invest. I was afraid to leave my job. And then I even said, can any of you relate? Have you ever been in a space where you got to do something, but you're so afraid? Fear is popping up for you. And a lot of you was like, yes, that's me. That's the common enemy. Fear. And so I put it in my story so that you can see, one, we got to get rid of it. And two, you can relate to me. So when you're sharing your stories, what is the common enemy? Now, fear is not the only thing, right? For some of you, it's time. I don't have enough time to do this. I don't have enough time to do that. So share that with your audience so they can relate to it. Like, word, I don't have enough time to do this. How am I going to build a business and be married and raise my kids at the same time? But you have the strategy to help them, right? So I want you to think about when you're sharing your stories, not just only sharing them. Think about what the common enemy is that your audience can relate to, right? So for me, in the story I shared earlier, it was fear. And a lot of you was able to relate to it because you've had similar fear, right? It may not be the same exact type of fear, but you can relate to a point in your life where you had to do something that you were afraid to do, right? Awesome. Okay, Kenya. Cool. Now, I want to give you another example because it's not just me. It's not just me. This also happened with Jesus. Like, how many of you read the Bible? Right? You don't all got to read the Bible, but I just want to take a quick poll. How many of you read the Bible? Just drop a me in the chat. If you read the Bible, you'll be able to get this this tip pretty simple. All right, so I see one me so far. Okay, so then this tip is going to resonate with you. Okay, House of Africa as well. So we got a couple of people. Okay, there we go. Hey, Letta, how you doing, honey? Awesome. Okay, so this example, I didn't mean to say tip. This example from Jesus' life, right? Jesus had a common enemy too. Does anyone know what the common enemy was for Jesus that we all can relate to? Does anyone know the common enemy that Jesus had, right, in his story that we all can relate to? Just think about it. You don't got to overthink it. I feel like some of you are going to be like the devil. Okay, that is one of them. Yes, that's one of them. But there's another common enemy that he had. Hey, April, you snuck in here. I didn't even see you there. Y'all are stuck? Had to wait for TikTok to bring it all together. Okay. Razzle, that's true. Haters, true. Yeah, that's right. Flesh is close. Betrayal. That's funny because haters, flesh, and betrayal all roll up into one word. Man, all of that rolls into one word, right? Here it is. His common enemy was sin. Sin was his common enemy, right? He saw that was the biggest issue in this world. And what did he do? He came to destroy that enemy. Who else understands sin? A lot of us do. Yeah, Razzle was like, oh yeah, well, duh. I know, right? A lot of us understand that sin. Some of us struggle with it. Some of us hate it, but we still keep doing it. Right? So we understand that struggle. Now, here's the thing that the Bible tells us, that Jesus endured every temptation known to man. So that sin was knocking at his door trying to get him. But what did he do? He overcame it. He overcame it. But he still came to this earth so that he can relate to us. So that now when we're coming up against sin, we can be like, oh, no, Jesus was able to overcome that. Jesus was able to overcome that. And when we're reading the Bible, we can cheer him on because we already know he overcame it, right? So I want you to think about when you're sharing your stories, what is the common enemy that your audience can relate to? See, if Jesus didn't come down to this earth and walk through the earth, experience the temptation, then when he's sharing his stories, sharing his parables, we wouldn't be able to relate to him. We'd be like, yeah, but you're God. But he didn't do that. He made sure that he experienced it. And then he let us know, here's how you can overcome it. And then, of course, the ultimate overcome was him on the cross when he completely defeated sin, which lets us know we don't got to be bound by it. We can completely defeat sin too. You see how that enemy still plays out in his story, but then he shows you how to overcome. That's what you want to do in your stories. If you find yourself telling stories, and then when people watch the stories, they're like, oh, they're trying to encourage you, that means that they missed you overcoming it. And you got to work on the overcoming part, because the overcoming is how you're helping them. And you don't want them to miss that part. You don't want them to think that you're still in that issue. You want them to know, no, I've overcome this. Let me help you overcome too. And now they're connecting the dots. They're like, oh, wow, you're right. That is an issue in my life. That is a problem that I have. And I do want a shift, right? There we go. Yep. House of Africa said that is such a great reminder. He has been through it all, so he understands. Exactly. Who's learning something today? Who's like, these tips, I'm about to run with these tips. I needed all of these tips, right? I want to give you one more example, and this one actually comes from my client, Lori, my former client, Lori, right? Yes, Kenya said me. There we go. Y'all all said me. So my former client, Lori, she's a fitness entrepreneur, and the reason why she started her business is because she watched her father die. He had diabetes and he was obese, and then he died. And she was headed down the same track. She was also overweight, and I believe she was also diabetic. And then she realized, I don't gotta go through that. I can stop right now. And she stopped. Oh, thank you for that. I love that. That was such a cool trick, right? And she decided, I'm not gonna go through that. So she stopped. And she started working out, eating healthy, losing weight, and she started feeling better. Then she realized, I want to help other people do this, right? And so she started posting on social media because she had her program, but ain't nobody was checking for her. She ended up joining the challenge at the VIP level, right? The VIP level. She ended up joining it. And I told her, this is what you need to say in your videos to get people to buy. And the next day, can somebody write the next day in the chat? The next day, not 2 days later, not 10 weeks later, the next day, sis got 3 leads from her videos. She came back to me and she said, girl, I said exactly what you told me to say in my videos. And she got 3 leads. So let's digest what she said in her videos. She opened up her story by saying, my father died of diabetes, and I was headed down the same track, but I decided to stop. You don't have to die from diabetes. I was like, what? That was a strong hook, first of all. And then she announced what the enemy was. She threw it in their face. Diabetes is killing you. Let's see how that can fix. And when she did that, she got 3 leads from that video. She's probably getting more leads, but I haven't gotten an update from her yet. So you see how like this common enemy, it can be different for all of you, but when you say it and you emphasize it, your audience can now see, I'm going through the same thing. It helps your audience to relate to you. So when you're putting out your content, you don't feel like this far away person. They recognize, no, she's just like me. He's just like me. He's overcome it. I can overcome it too. And now when they're listening to your story, they're rooting for you to overcome. They're waiting for you to get to the end to let them know how you were able to overcome it. Why? Because now they see themselves in you. And now what's happening is you're helping them to make a buying decision, because they're seeing, if you can overcome it, I could overcome it too. You must be the way. You must be the truth. And I must invest in you. You see how that just works together? You let them know what the common enemy is. And now they're over here like, Yo, I'm going through that too. I want some help. So storytelling is super important to your content. And I get it because sometimes it can be like, oh, what stories do I tell? But if you follow this strategy, call them by pain, and then you go ahead and use you in your hook, and then you call out this common enemy. And I don't want you to overthink the common enemy. I gave you 3 different examples. The story I shared, it was fear. Jesus' story, it was sin. And Lori's story, it was diabetes. So you call out what that common enemy is. Like for someone who's in beauty or hair care, the common enemy may be bald spots. It may be not feeling beautiful. It may be other hair care products that just don't work. Right? So you just want to think about what are these common enemies, and I'm going to put that in my story. You have these 3 things in your stories, and now you're ready to convert. Because now you're attracting the audience, and they're telling you, I want to invest in you. So I know that blessed you. A lot of you said, I learned something. I feel blessed. I never heard storytelling like this before. You want to know why? 1, because I'm a TV producer, so I literally do this, right? But number 2 is because we don't teach you to tell any old stories. We teach you to tell stories that actually convert. That's the goal. The goal isn't to be an influencer. I mean, you can if you want to. But the goal is that when you are putting out your stories, it is strategic. What is that strategy? To get follows and sales. The goal is that when you're posting with a purpose. What is that purpose? Profits. I want you to keep that in mind, because we are not a company where we're just going to show you how to create the content. There's a goal for our content. Why? Because I know that many of you on here started your business so that you can create generational wealth, so that you can leave a financial legacy for your family. And some of you, you're in a space where you're already creating that wealth, but now you recognize you want to make a bigger impact. And that bigger impact looks like reaching more people. It looks like speaking into their lives and truly helping them to transform, because there's a calling on your life. But I want you to think about this. What is it costing you not to get started today? For some of you who are like, I do want to become a VIP member, Star really did just teach me a lot on this live, and I actually want to see what else she got, because I know that she can help me to transform content. But you're hesitating right now. What's it costing you? Is it costing you hitting your financial goals in your business? Is it costing you being a blessing to someone else? I know for me, if I never got up, if I never got started, I wouldn't be able to help hundreds of business owners get over their fear of being on camera, show up on camera, speak directly to their audience, and then convert them. I have lots of business owners who have said, thank you so much. I could not have done this without you. And because of your program, I can now be a blessing to my community. Your business is not just to bless your family. It is to bless the people you were called to. Will you let them suffer? Or will you join us so we can help you reach them? Right? Maggie says, you're amazing. You have educated, uplifted, and empowered me to kick my own butt to get out of content. Come on now. I love it. Letta says, yes, I'm a testimony to that, Star. Yeah, Letta really is a testimony. Let me tell you about Letta. Letta joined our challenge last month as a VIP member. And she said, I'm going to be doing faceless content. That's what she said. I'm just doing faceless content. That was Monday. Do you know that by Wednesday, day 3 of the challenge, sis had her beautiful face on camera? She was like, yeah, I'm gonna reach my audience. I got a story to tell, and I'm gonna help them. You know what she does? She does something similar to one of my other clients, where she helps people who are near to retirement age create passive income so that they don't have to die broke. That's what she does. Imagine if Letta never showed up. We will be having lots of people in their 60s ready to retire with no money in their account. And now they got to go get a job at McDonald's. And now they're missing vital moments with their family, all because they didn't have enough money in their account. If Letta never decided to show up, her audience wouldn't be blessed. And if I never decided to show up, Letta wouldn't be blessed. Your business is not just for you. It's for the people that you are called to. So if you want to be a blessing on your timeline, you want to reach the people that you are called to, you want to help them because you know the message inside of you, it's time for it to come out, then click the second link in my bio, become a VIP member. Let us help you. You don't have to suffer in silence or struggle by yourself. We have the solution that can help you to get unstuck and start getting paid, right? So the challenge is for the coach using Instagram or TikTok to promote your business, but you're not sure what content to create that grows your following, that grows your community of like-minded people who want to work with you. That's what we show you in the challenge. The challenge is also for the business owner. You understand the power of video, but you don't know what to say in your videos in order to get people to buy without sounding salesy. This is a mindset. And we want to break this mindset off so that now when you're selling, you're doing it confidently. And the challenge is for the entrepreneur where you've worked in your 9 to 5 for 12 years, 15 years, 20 years. You're the expert. And God has called you to social media because you have a message to share and it will transform lives. But every time you show up on social media, ain't nobody checking for you. You get 2 views and 2 comments and one of them is from your spouse. And you want to turn that around because you know that if people just heard you, if they just invested in your business, if they just bought from you, that their life will be transformed for the good. We want to help you with your marketing because it's not enough to just wing it. Not at this stage in your life. Just winging it is not going to help. We want to help you so that now you have a strategy and a plan to market to your audience and to convert them. You can click the second link in my bio to become a VIP member so we can help you. Latoya says, yes, I feel like you were talking directly to me. You definitely kept my attention. Yes, Latoya, I love that you said that. Awesome. So next week, Wednesday at 6:45 a.m. Eastern, we're going live again. And this time we're teaching on it's easy to see why your content isn't working. Try this instead. It's easy to see why your content isn't working. Try this instead. That's next Wednesday at 6:45 a.m. Eastern. I only go live on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 6:45 a.m. Eastern. You can go ahead and go to my page. You will see that all my lives are scheduled for April. If you don't want to miss a live, go ahead and RSVP so you can get the notifications. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I am so excited that we got to chat today. I am looking forward to all of you thriving. See you later.